to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman TJ Lang.
Back at the fifth quarter in Little Chute, transportation for our players is provided by L&S Classic Limousine Service, personal professional service for all occasions. Call Lenny or Sue at 1-800-830-5933 for your reservation. That's 1-800-830-5933. Well, coming up later in the show, we'll have our email question of the week, sponsored by Granite Peak Ski Area in Wausau. Each week, we'll be rewarding the email question of the week winner with a 2-night stay and lift tickets for 2 days at Granite Peak. You can go now to inthehuddleshow.com, and email us your question for TJ or Bryan Bulaga or both. You could be enjoying a great ski getaway from Granite Peak Ski Area. You can also use Twitter at In the Huddle Show, all one word, In the Huddle Show, or you can search for us on Facebook at In the Huddle Show, or just type in facebook.com/InTheHuddleGB. That package worth over $400, and we'll be submitting that and giving that away near the end of the show, but you got to send us some nice questions along the way. So we certainly welcome the opportunity to give you some great prizes. That's Granite Peak Ski Area near Wausau. All right, time now to introduce our guest on the show this evening. He is the first-round draft pick of the Green Bay Packers out of the University of Iowa, Bryan Bulaga.
I appreciate you having me on. Pleasure.
Thanks for coming out. You became the 6th Iowa player to be named the Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year and the 3rd this decade. That's kind of, the Midwest Big Ten football teams are all, they produce some great offensive linemen, and Iowa certainly does not take a back seat to anybody.
No, not at all. It's a physical conference, the Big Ten. Wisconsin's in this state. They have produced a lot of great offensive linemen, and I think that's just credit to style of football play. And at Iowa, Coach Ferentz does a great job coaching up the offensive linemen, and the way we play is just, a little bit different than everybody else, and it obviously works out pretty well for us because there's a lot of guys in the NFL that are very successful right now.
Did Wisconsin offer?
They did.
Okay. How come you didn't become a Badger?
Yeah, Bryan.
Well, I think our record against Wisconsin speaks for itself.
Well, if we would have had,
we got a lot of views coming through the audience.
In all honesty, if we would have had you, we might have been able to turn that around.
I don't know. It's a great rivalry. It's one of the best in the Big Ten. It's going to be a pretty good game this year. I know Wisconsin's got a very good team this year, and Iowa's got a pretty good team, so it's going to be a great battle.
Yeah, Iowa's got a real good football team, and they got that pink locker room for the visitors. So
they do.
You ever go see that?
I did. Yeah. I did. It's I don't know if that really does anything to anybody.
Not very depressing at all?
No. It's supposed to make you happy, which in football I guess isn't good, but I don't know.
Did Eastern Michigan offer you?
They did, actually. They did. I got that on my wall.
So you're too good for Eastern Michigan, Bryan. Okay.
You missed 3 games last year with a thyroid condition. Took even longer to feel kind of back to full strength again, and yet you still won the Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year award. So they obviously thought quite a bit about you. But how difficult was that process for you to go through?
It was difficult. The thyroid deal wasn't something that I could kind of correct myself. Mm-hmm. It was kind of, it was an internal problem that my body just kind of had to sort out. So it was difficult because it drained my stamina, my energy, my strength. So getting that back, I pretty much did nothing but walk around campus for class for 3 weeks. They didn't let me work out, run, do anything. So it was difficult coming back and getting back into playing shape and then kind of getting strength and all that back. But, it was a tough process. I worked through it and, I was able to, get a good season out of it and, move on.
And then not knowing, I'm sure for a while there you really didn't know, how fast you're going to be coming back.
Oh, yeah. I think they misdiagnosed it a couple times. So that was a little bit, concerning to my family and I that they couldn't really hit the nail on the head with the first diagnosis. So it was a little concerning. But once they got it figured out, it was a fairly simple thing that, it only took a little bit of, antibiotic to figure out. And then once we got on that, it was good to go.
Yeah. So TJ is from Michigan. You're actually from Illinois. Now, are you a Bears fan?
No,
were you a Bears fan?
I don't have one piece of Bears memorabilia or clothing or anything, so I can't really say that I was a big Bears fan.
Mm-hmm.
They were on TV every Sunday. It was fun watching them get beat by Green Bay, all the time. But no, I was just an NFL fan and mostly a Big Ten fan. I loved watching college football on Saturdays and watching the Big Ten teams.
You some people thought you might go as high as 10, maybe top 10, and you came 23 to the Green Bay Packers. Was that an anxious time for you?
Yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking, sitting back there in the green room, just kind of waiting to hear your name called. But in the end, it all worked out great. I'm in a place that, I love, and I think it's the best situation, too. This is a great football team with a lot of expectations and a lot of potential. So I think overall it's the best situation, best fit for me.
A couple of, Chad Clifton may or may not be in his last season. Mark Tauscher on the other side. TJ, this is a scenario where the Packers are building some young offensive linemen that are, really getting set to take over for those guys.
Yeah, you never know what's happened with, next year with all the talk about the lockout and stuff. That can change everything. But having Mark and Chad around has been so great for me, and I know Bryan as well. Those guys, just watching them play, you could learn so much from those guys that, they've been around. They're going into their 11th year, so. They're both great leaders, and it's awesome to have them in the room, to help us out as young players, and those are great guys, and hopefully someday, me and Bryan could step in and fill in their shoes, and they've built quite a legacy up here. They've been bookend tackles for the last 10 years together, so those guys are great to have around, and it's just great learning from them.
You're listening to In the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. TJ Lang, my co-host. Bryan Bulaga is our guest on the program this evening. So you come in here, and everybody thinks that you're going to just kind of sit behind Chad Clifton for a year, learn the ropes, and if he's not able to play, you're going to jump in there. Well, it didn't take very long where the Packers thought that, we think that Bryan Bulaga is ready to compete for a starter job. We want to put the best 5 guys out there, so we're going to give you an opportunity to win the job at left guard. Surprised? What were your thoughts when that happened?
No, I was kind of ready to take on anything they threw at me, and I just so happened to have the opportunity. And the hip flexor deal, I think, kind of hindered that. I wasn't able to. I missed, I think, a practice and the 2 preseason games. So missing the game, 2 games, kind of really hindered me. But I got good work there, learned the position. Kind of have better knowledge of the offense because of it now. So I think it only benefited me. And now I know both positions. So if I'm needed in any situation, I'll be able to go in there and help out.
What exactly is a hip flexor?
I'm not a doctor.
Where does it hurt? The hip?
Around my hip area. Yeah, around the hip area.
It's like a bruise or something, or
it's just a strain in the muscle, I guess. And considering it was the foot that I push off at left tackle and left guard, every time I'd push off on it to pass block or anything, it'd give me a pretty good pull. So. Had to be careful with that, because if something like that continues to nag, that can hold you out for a while in the season. So we just wanted to, knock it out right now, take care of it, and get it healed up.
Yeah. See, the company line is, I'm not a doctor, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So.
Bryan's not sponsored by Holiday Inn, so he's not required to say that.
No. So how would you describe your first NFL training camp?
I thought it went well. Over at Iowa, Coach Farrington's a pretty tough camp. He runs it very NFL style. Now that I've been in an NFL camp and I can compare the two, it's very NFL style. So it was a good camp. I enjoyed it. I got a lot of good work out of it, and I think it made me better.
It's Bryan Bulaga, the first-round draft pick of the Green Bay Packers. So we will take a break, and we'll come back with more In the Huddle after this on the Woodward Radio Network.